Throne and Liberty, Guild raid bosses, everything that you want to know in this video. We have super positive feedback about TNL videos, so thank you very much. Your support is super important for me. I'm PLK, keep subscribing please, keep subscribing, and we are starting to prepare ourselves for the 7th of December Korean launch of Throne and Liberty. I'm fully ready, I have an account, I pre-create my character, so it will be. And today we will overview all the info from the Korean G-Star show about Throne and Liberty raids, with the example of the Guild raid. This is my personal translation from Korean, so it could be not 100% correct in some places. And we start. Guild raid. The name of the Guild raid is Arc Boss Theben or Theben. As I said, this is a Guild raid, which means it's instanced only for the Guild members. This type of the content is focused for the Guild who won't compete or can't compete in PvP for field bosses, but still have a chance to get some very good rewards and learn guild moves and coordination for the raids, and of course to have fun together. I mean, raids, it's the end game, right? Developers told us that in this particular example, all bosses and this raid boss in particular was nerfed in sake of the good show for the G-Star. Also that the number of people on the screen is something less than we expecting for such a battle in a real raid boss. Okay, how many people do we have now? Around 20. Yeah, okay. So for real Guild raid boss, you will need more than 20-30 people with a good gear. Cool. Arc Boss Theben. Developers mentioned that all Arc bosses will have mechanics that is called part destruction. In this example, Theben will have phases, when you can attack his right arm, and also phase when raid boss will apply debuff on the guild, which called Gift from the Dead. Developers mentioned few interesting parts of the arena here, like water moat around and water coming from the mouth of the gargoyle. In these places you can wash debuff from yourself, so you have to do these rotations time to time. And we have cool start with a big jump from the boss. Now, if the guild will destroy right arm, which you can see much bigger than the left one, if you know what I mean, patterns of the boss attacks will change. Boss fight interaction became more and more interesting with the traversal mechanics like this jump. You need to be precise with the jump to avoid it. And we have some unlucky ones who didn't jump. If you not do it in the particular time, it's just instant death. Now we see washing from the debuffs mechanic. Debuff itself is basically heavy poison that will decrease your HP and MP with every tick. As you can see, boss have two different HP bars. One for the boss itself or for the boss body, and one for the right arm here. Boss also changing his attack patterns during the fight. Like you see here, running attacks through the guild crowd and jump again. Even if you can jump precisely, but don't transform to the bird, you will avoid only part of the damage, as boss jump have echo over time damage. So birds are good. At some point arm is done, and boss starting to change patterns of attack once again, like with this huge lightning AoE. Developers also mentioned that now on the arena starts raining, so it's more simple and faster to wash your debuff or come from the moat, because the level of the water is much higher. I don't know why exactly, and I didn't get why it starts raining right now. Is it just a random or it's new boss phase? But once again, I really like this different interaction with the weather in the game. That's so cool that you have different spells from the mage, for example, or from the wand user. All different types of weather will influence your raid bosses, your spells, and that is super cool for MMORPG, really. The important thing that I get from the translation that if you are staying near the right hand, you will automatically attack it. And to switch to body, you have to run to the other side of the boss, which could be pretty difficult in this situation with all these AoE attacks and everything that's happening on the screen, right? But if you will destroy a right arm before you will kill the boss will change the approach of the attacks once more. Now, as the boss don't have a right arm, pattern changed. It uses food to hit players, so damage started to be AoE circles in the places where players were standing. It's much more difficult to avoid and it's harder to fight, and damage is much bigger. So the best strategy will be to balance between the body and the arm to kill body first. I hope I get it right. I don't know, but comment below what do you think, guys, am I right? Or you think we just need to kill the arm and then the body? That's something interesting for myself, but I really like the different phases and patterns of the boss that we have during this fight. Once again, developers mentioned rain, and it looks like weather is random, and it's good to choose time of the raid within the rainy weather. Big W for the immersion. I mean, that's super cool. And in the end, we have multiple drop of the gear. Woo! That was intense, even more than the party content that we have in the previous video, by the way, check it. As always in Lineage 3, I mean in Throne and Liberty. But anyway, these games are guild-oriented games. So you will have much more fun to play as a party member, as a guild, to have the sieges, to have this guild content and everything. It's definitely possible by solo, but at some point of time you will understand that it's more fun to play not solo. So, you know. Okay, what type of the loot we can expect from the such guild raid boss? Developers explain that guild raid boss will have the 100% same loot that field raid bosses can drop. Drop rates also the same. The only difference is that you can't trade guild raid boss items on the auction. It's only to gear up your guild members who are part of the raid. With the field bosses, you can increase wealth of the guild by trading and get in return better things for the guild members. And also the number of runs to the field raid boss will be much bigger than to the guild raid boss. They didn't mention specifically the drop itself, but I could see from the multiple screenshots and etc. It will be different rare craft materials with rare chance to drop full item like weapon or armor, and also rare consumables like HP pots and etc. And you know, in Lineage 2 to get the right crafting material for the higher level items is super important and super rare. You can farm it for months from the mobs, and also you can get it fast from the raid bosses. Raid bosses will be something that will influence the progress of the guild members and guild itself in a big way. Yep, in a big way. Also, as I understand, guild raid bosses will have restart time like 24 hours or weekly, and you couldn't grind it non-stop. Anyway, what we had, guys. These guild raid bosses show us that the mechanics will be similar to the Lineage 2M, and as this game is bad, I mean Lineage 2M, still the raid bosses and raid boss economy is pretty good. I mean, Lineage series is not about some cool and interesting phases of the raid bosses. It's about the economy of raid bosses. To get the field raid boss, you need to fight for it. To fight for it, you need to kill the raid bosses or to grind the materials or to do some economy, you know, to progress your guild with levels and gear. What I see on the screen looks pretty fun, pretty interesting, and visually, I mean, it's not stunning, but for MMORPG it's super well done. What do you think, guys? First of all, subscribe. If you are still listening to me, subscribe, like the video, and I need your comments below. What do you think about the game, about the raid bosses, and which class you will play? In the next video, we'll discuss more cool things about the game, and we will have the launch soon. So I was happy to see you. Bye.